I was tired and fed up with sacrificing my best years while building someone else's dream, of trading my valuable time, creativity, and impact for a paycheck. Doing the work I didn't care about while pushing my own freedom and desires to the side. If you're a corporate leader, an employee who has dreamed about controlling your destiny and breaking free of the corporate shackles holding you back from being that person that you want to be and creating the impact that you want to create, this is for you. And if you're watching this right now, you might be in a tough spot. You might not know where to start. Let me tell you something important. It's gonna be all right. I'm about to show you exactly why. Breaking free from your default corporate existence, the one that has you trapped, feeling like a shell of yourself, and building a real business you love and control is simpler than you think. And you can do it while keeping the safety and security of your job and your current lifestyle. But you can't do it by trying to copy someone else's playbook, by competing and hustling harder, or chasing new tactics. That's a recipe for burnout when you already have so much on your plate. The ones who succeed in building a successful off-ramp to corporate learn one counterintuitive secret right away. Hi, I'm Michael Garden, founder of Rejoin Coaching and author of the Breaking Work newsletter and host of the Breaking Work podcast. In 2018, I was massively stuck in my Fortune 500 job. I had chased success hard and tried every passive income strategy in the book. But at 37, with a wife and 3 kids, no real success to my name, I found myself depressed and broken. With my back against the wall, I flipped my approach on its head. I gained massive clarity on myself and what I wanted. Then, like a laser, I built a business while keeping my job that replaced my corporate income. I left my job for good in December of 2018 and scaled that business to over $1 million a year in revenue. On that journey, I completely redefined what success meant to me, and I created a healthy work-life approach that allows me to be a 100% unapologetically present father while still being achievement-oriented. Today, I've helped over 50 corporate leaders and executives create similar transformations. One recently told me, "It's impossible to overstate the impact this had on defining my own vision and success." Another said, "Mike opened my eyes to what was possible for me and how valuable I am. Now I'm building real leverage in my life and career." So today I'm sharing what actually works to get high aspiring corporate employees and executives the same outcomes I got, and now that I get for over 50 clients. The number one thing high achieving employees say to me is that they feel stuck. These are smart, driven, and accomplished people feeling this way. So what is feeling stuck? It's not burnout. It's not responsibilities or tasks on your plate. It's not even compromising between work and your family. Stuck is being caught between who you've been and who you want to be, and not having a clear playbook to deal with that situation. You need to start asking yourself different questions. So if you're a corporate leader who identifies with being stuck, you've likely been asking yourself one question over and over and over again, but getting nowhere. It happens to be the same question that prevents millions of people from hitting their goals every single day. And it's literally the number one question the human species asks on a daily basis. That question is how? How do I lose weight? How do I change my job? How do I connect better with my kids? How do I find the right idea? How do I make money without working? How do I get started? How do I do marketing? How do I sell when I'm not a salesman? The list goes on, but here's the problem. We know the tactics and the steps to do what we want to do. It's never been easier or cheaper in the course of human history to learn how to do just about anything. Hell, you could ask ChatGPT how to lose weight, yet very few people are successful at it. Does this sound familiar? You read a headline while scrolling Instagram. It says, "This passive strategy prints money while I sit on a beach." Maybe you spend 10 minutes digging in, and maybe you even decide that you can do this if you don't scroll past looking for the next great idea. So you start working on the strategy, maybe with some new excitement. Then you realize there's actually some real work involved, work that you don't really like. Operations, creating content, figuring out automation technology. So you start to resist. Your motivation wanes, and you quit. I've seen this cycle hundreds of times, and I've even done it myself. And here's what you need to hear. This isn't your fault. You're not lazy. You're not unfocused. You're not behind. You're just following the wrong formula. The how formula. The how formula is 98% guaranteed to not work, and worse, it wastes our precious time. Time that you know is running out. Chasing the idea or the tactic is doomed to fail for one huge reason. And that is both counterintuitive and also obvious at the same time. Those ideas, they're not you. They're not what you actually want. They don't leverage your innate advantages, and they don't serve the people who you want to serve how you want to serve them. When it comes to changing your career or building a business, the problem isn't tactical information. The problem is alignment. We can't get from knowledge to action or from burned out to fulfill by scrolling another 5 years of our lives away seeking information. We need to ask different questions. Not how, but if we switch those 3 letters around, we start asking who. Who do we need to be to lose weight, to change jobs, to connect with our kids, or to build the business of our dreams? By asking who, we tap into our deepest desires, our wants, our needs, our ambitions to understand why. The why is where the true business power lies. We start thinking and acting differently in service of our deepest motivations. So this is the secret that all my students learn right away. We think the formula for success is 80% how and 20% who. But the real formula in today's entrepreneurial environment is only 20% how and 80% who. Who do you want to be? Who do you need to have the best life possible? Who do you need to be not only to build a business that you love, but to be there for your family and to reflect them your deepest values? If you're doubting me, I get it. But it turns out who is actually a shortcut. Because when you clarify who, you're 80% of the way there. The heavy lifting is done, and the tactics begin to reveal themselves. Why is this the case? Because in today's entrepreneurial environment, successful solopreneur businesses aren't the biggest, they're not the most funded, and they're not the smartest people at all. They're the ones that resonate most deeply with their customers. And all that raw material required to create, stand out, and deliver value is in your story and your motivations, those who questions. This is why I developed Advantage Mapping, proprietary system for uncovering your unfair advantages. Not just your skills or strengths, but your advantages, the unique intersection of what you are exceptional at, what you care about, what the world needs, and what people are willing to pay for. It's the foundation of my high-level coaching program, and I teach this framework to university students in my entrepreneurship class. Why? Because when you see your map, when you finally understand what makes you uncopyable, everything else falls into place. You see the path to real freedom isn't to build a cheap product, write an ebook, sell Amazon products, or any other passive income hack you may be scrolling through right now. Those are for the disenfranchised Gen Zers who don't have the wisdom, the experience, and the impact that you have built up over your long career so far. The smart, dedicated, and valuable people who are creating premium, sustainable business engines that create real wealth and impact are doing it differently. Instead of looking out at the world and copying what other people are doing, smart execs and corporate professionals are looking inside and creating businesses that are uncopyable. Here's how they're doing it. And I know you're going to feel some resistance here because most people don't have a proven process for doing any of this, but we do. The first stage is called time sovereignty. You see, most people think financial freedom comes before time freedom, but it's just the opposite. Time freedom before financial freedom. Do you really not have time to put in focused effort on your business? That job that you have, that 40, 60, 70, 80 hours a week that you're working right now, that's still a problem, right? Especially when you have kids and want to be there for them. Whatever time you do get in between commitments goes wasted with surface level scrolling or research. So there's never any actual progress. You feel like business is just another thing to fit in and causes you more anxiety and burnout. You're already tired. But here's the truth. You can find 20 to even 40% of time and energy waste in your current schedule at work and eliminate it. I did it in my job in corporate innovation, and I've done it with 50 plus clients who all told me that it couldn't be done. The only thing that needs to change is your perspective. If you view your job as a tool, a utility that is funding your business venture and your new future, instead of your current identity, you can prioritize and focus on the small number of value-driving activities at work and start letting go of the majority of fake work that eats up your time. You can begin to take control over your schedule, to create space to do deep work on your business. You can learn to say no and make it a win-win for the organization without looking like an asshole. And you can implement strategic communication efficiencies that cut the waste and give you back time to invest in your future. This is a full redesign of your relationship with work, one that will leave you already feeling more free and in control and energized. Think about what that alone could mean for yourself, your family, and your future. The second stage is tapping into your future vision. This is the who right here. So right now, do you really have clarity on what you want or who you want to be and why? Yes, everyone wants to print money while they sleep so they never have to work again. But do you really not want to work and just lay on a beach? Is that actually true? Do you have a detailed vision for what you want your life to look like? How do you want to feel in the future? How do you want to work? What example do you want to set for your kids? How much money do you really want and why? You see, the truth of the matter here is without it, people build businesses that don't serve the life that they want, and they become slaves to those businesses. You might as well stay in your job if that's the case. But with the truth as your guide, you can absolutely create and build businesses that serves your vision, that don't overwhelm you, and that create the life that you actually want. So when every other coach out there is talking about vision, they usually put you through an exercise, which then gets thrown into a drawer and never looked at again. But inside the Freedom Accelerator Lab, we use vision as a tool. We connect to it, we refine it, and we ingrain it in our identities and let that vision and that feeling shape our present actions to literally create the future now. But you can't do that unless you have a number 3, your foundational advantages. This is where advantage mapping comes in. Do you right now have a true, undeniable view of your advantages today, of you at your best, of all the ways that make you stand out, all the unique ways you solve problems, all the ways you impact the people around you, all the things you actually care about and are innately curious about? Can you see the common thread between them? Can you package them together in an impactful premium offer that solves a real-world need in the ways that you want? Or are you stuck in imposter syndrome? Are you discounting the ways that you can be truly impactful and what you can offer to the world? Maybe because you've been programmed to listen to all the weaknesses and all the aspects of you that you need to correct in order to succeed in the corporate world. Are you playing small and afraid to let your light shine? Now, here's what I need to address directly. You might be thinking, Mike, but what if I look inside and there's nothing there? What if I'm not actually good at anything? That's the real fear, isn't it? Not, I don't have time. It's, I'm afraid to find out. Here's what I know after working with all of these corporate leaders. That fear is a lie. You have uncopyable advantages right now. You just can't see them because you've been trained to focus on your weaknesses and not your strengths. So here's the truth. Your true advantages are very likely laying dormant. I don't care about your weaknesses here. They don't matter when we're building businesses. It's your advantages that are the raw material for not only your premium business, but also your personal and relational growth. Your advantages, fully recognized, are the foundational platform to take your life in an exciting and fulfilling new direction. So do you know what they are? Can you articulate the core foundational advantages you have? And can you see how to leverage them on a new pathway? Likely not, because I've seen this over and over and over again. There's no process for it until now. And that's exactly what advantage mapping reveals. One of my clients described it this way. I wanted clarity on my strengths and what I'm really good at. Advantage mapping gave me that, and everything else shifted. Now that brings us to stage number 4, the actual business vehicle. This is the last 20% of the whole sequence. When you feel your vision every single day, you have a destination. When you believe in your advantages that are unique to you, you have a foundational starting point. Then all that's left is to leverage those advantages by building the business vehicle to take you from where you are to that future vision. This means packaging your story and your advantages into one clear premium business offer, not being everything to everyone. It means using your story and your vision to create an uncopyable category and brand that resonates and attracts your best clients instead of competing with everybody else for their attention. It means easy, heart-led sales systems that don't feel icky. And finally, it means lightweight automation to make everything run smoothly. so you don't become a slave to your business and you'll have all the time and energy for the more important things in life. Here's the deal. We're living in a renaissance moment right now where business can be used as a creative extension of what lies deep inside of us. The winds are actually at your back. So that's the good news. The bad news is that the winds of change are also coming. Technology, AI, downsizing, layoffs, and corporate restructuring are all the norm right now. Your colleagues who aren't listening to this video and not doing this work, they're at risk. You're equipping yourself with the tools, skill sets, and mentality to make money in any environment and to become the most adaptable version of yourself while living fully today with passion and excellence. And here's what might be the most important part. You don't have to do this alone. One of my clients said this best: the camaraderie of not feeling alone, hearing others struggle and share the same challenges, that was invaluable. You don't have to be a lone wolf because we have a pack of individuals that are all on the same level you are and striving for the same goal you are. Now, if what I covered here today has struck a nerve, then I invite you to take the next step by booking a 30-minute Freedom Scan call with me. This is time I set aside just for you, just to listen. There are no sales pitches from me. We'll diagnose your exact current work-life challenges. We'll uncover the highest leverage step you can take right now to get unstuck. And if it feels right to both of us, I can share information on the program and the next step. If not, no worries. Now here's the catch. Because these sessions are time intensive, I only have a limited number of spots available. So use this video as a sign to start investing in yourself and creating the future that you want. For your future, for your family. Don't wait. Remember, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." Book your Freedom Scan now. Let's do this together.